It's Meet the Biz time. We are here with a really amazing guy. I mean, he is a two-time Emmy-nominated producer. He is a writer, a singer, a voiceover artist, an actor. Mr. Steven Wishnoff, our friend Mr. Steven Wishnoff. Hello.
Well, hello there. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you during this crazy time?
Trying to stay busy, keep myself occupied
Yeah,
best I can.
yeah, yeah. First of all, I want to thank you for all the many times that you've come to teach at Meet the Biz. I mean, the classes, what were the names of the classes?
Oh, am I allowed to say?
Yeah.
Well, first there was the shit they didn't tell you. Then there was more shit they didn't tell you. Then there was even more shit they didn't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we even did the rest of the shit they didn't tell you.
Well, that's a bunch of shit.
It was a lot of shit.
Oh my God, I love it. Well, what a way to start an interview. I love it. And you know what? I have to say, I remember the first time that I met you.
You do?
I do. It's this, you have this presence that's like, who is this man? And I remember being, and it was just, it's actually one of the nights I will, in one of my top 20 memories that I remember being there with Jerry Jewell at the Hollywood Bowl, and there was Mr. Steven Wishnoff.
Was that the Liza concert?
That was.
Oh, okay.
That was, and I loved it. We were like saying, Jerry saying, do you have Jerry Jewell down on the list? And you went, Jerry Jewell? Remember that?
Yes, and they didn't, so I made them put her on it.
I loved it.
I have a cat that is clawing at the patio window that wants to go out. Can I step away for 1 second?
Yes, what's your cat's name?
Maggie.
Maggie! Oh, go right ahead. We'll wait. Maggie. You know what made me think of Maggie is the name is Margaret Hamilton. Margaret Hamilton, by the way, was the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz.
Okay, now we're back.
Hey! How are you? I need an animal so bad.
Well, I have Maggie the cat, Tennessee Williams reference.
Ah, okay. Okay. We all have our references to names. What a Tennessee Williams.
Well, my downstairs neighbors have cats named Tennessee, Stella, and Brando. And okay. They used to have Stanley and Blanche too.
Right. Oh my God. But they're not here anymore.
No.
They moved on.
That's why they have Tennessee, Stella, and Brando.
Oh God, I can't wait till I get an animal and name it Peter.
Peter?
Or Inspector Clouseau. Oh my God. Since we were talking about the Hollywood Bowl with Liza.
Uh-huh.
I just want to throw out the name Liza Minnelli. I remember I was at another concert and she shouted your name stage.
Yeah.
I was like, I love this.
That was a different year at the Hollywood Bowl. It was my birthday, and she wished me a happy birthday from the stage in front of 18,000 of my dearest friends.
I know. I was there. I was going, my God, how did you meet Liza? What's your connection?
I've known Liza since the 90s. Let's see. How do I explain this? You know how every actor has a survival job? Or at least you hope.
We hope.
Mine was in the piano bars in New York City. I used to sit behind the piano and carry on like a madman for 8 or 9 hours a night. And Liza was friends with another friend of mine, or actually several other friends of mine. And she used to come in to the piano bars and hang out. Sometimes she'd sing, rarely, but sometimes. And I got to know her. And in particular, one night, there was an after hours piano bar, which meant in New York, that means it didn't open until 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, the bars in New York are open till 4. So by the time you finish your shift and you go to an after hours place, it's 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And you have your dark sunglasses at the ready. But there used to be a place called the Five Oaks. It actually was a speakeasy in the 20s. And you would go down these narrow stairs to the basement of a building at Grove Street and Hudson. And, or was it West 10? Anyway, it was the West Village of New York. You go down the stairs, and Marie Blake, who, when I first met her, had to have been 80 years old, but played the meanest stride piano you have ever heard and could play anything, was at the piano. And my friends waved me over to a table in the corner where they were, and it was very dark. Good thing it was dark. You really don't want to see what's in a basement in New York. And I felt something at my leg under the table. And I look under the table, and there's this face looking back at me. Hi, I'm Liza.
So, wait a minute, her face was looking up from under the table?
Well, because she had dropped her cigarettes.
Oh.
Back when she used to smoke.
Right.
This was a long time ago. And, you know, I've known her casually since then, over many, many years in New York. And then out here in Los Angeles, I was still working in New York and commuting, working for TV Land, and we were producing the TV Land Awards. And Liza, who played Lucille 2 on Arrested Development, presented the show Arrested Development with the Making a Future Classic Award. So I got to work with her then as well.
Fun.
And that's how I know Liza.
I love that. And that, what a great story. I've never heard that story. And the way you described it about being in those bars, the piano bars, and I just saw you there playing the piano for people and singing your own songs and
carrying on like a fool.
And then you brought up that you produced the TV Land Awards.
Well, I was the producer of the online segment.
Got it. Very nice.
And because Liza was presenting, that was an important thing. In fact, I have video footage of her showing Gary Coleman, her father, a book with the cover of Gigi. It was a book about costume and wardrobe in classic film. And I have video footage somewhere of Liza going, Gary, look, this is my father's movie.
Oh my God, that's wonderful.
Yeah, he was more interested in the gumballs.
The wealth of stories you have through your career and life.
I suppose that's true.
Have you thought of writing a book?
I've thought about it. I kind of started doing it. Then I stopped doing it because other projects, you know, take precedent.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of stories, that's for sure. I mean, there were people I was even calling to ask their permission to reference them.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't want to do that without telling somebody. I mean, if it's somebody, let's say, famous with a household name, I don't necessarily ask them if I can mention them.
All right.
And anybody that I would mention in a negative light, I do not use their name at all.
Right.
You know, it's, I think that's bad form.
Yeah. Yeah.
With certain exceptions.
Okay. Well, you know, bouncing off of Liza to the film that everybody loves. Every year I would watch Judy Garland go down the Yellow Brick Road to the Land of Oz. But you lived and breathed for 5 years in a different kind of Oz on
Oh, yes.
HBO. Tell
That
us, tell us.
that
What?
okay. That was another world. Yes.
Oh, that's just let's from night and day, right?
Yeah, yeah, it really was. I was incarcerated as Tony Masters, inmate 98M922, in the HBO drama Oz for 5 years, from seasons 2 through the end. And the portion of the prison that I lived, Oz was short for Oswald State Penitentiary. And the part of Oz that I lived in was called Emerald City.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Well, it was a special part of the prison where you had different privileges. There weren't bars, there were glass walls, or plexiglass walls, actually. You could wear your own clothing, you didn't have to wear a uniform. And so it was the experimental portion of the prison. It actually was the Gilligan's Island of prisons, because Oz was set up to be representative of the population at large. And so there was a gang of Latinos, there was a gang of Irish, there was a gang of the Sicilian Italians, there was a gang of bikers, there was a gang of Muslims, there was a gang of the gays. Hello. There was a group they called the others, people who didn't quite fit into any other category, but were chosen to be part of the Emerald City experiment. So by having one group from each different part of the population, I refer to it as the Gilligan's Island of prisons.
Wow. I love that. I love that. That could be I mean, talking about books, you could write all about that experience. I mean,
yes. And the book that I'd write will have a good deal about Oz in it. Mostly because it was an amazing experience. You know, people use the expression, oh, it was a family. No, this really was a family, because you were locked in for 12 hours in a four-walled space. And whether it was functional or dysfunctional depended on the moment. But for the most part, it was a wonderful experience. And I got to work with so many people that I'd respected and admired for years.
yeah.
On that show, particularly from the world of Broadway.
What, Rita Moreno, huh?
Well, Rita Moreno as Sister Pete, to be sure. I was Betty Buckley's pianist on the show. That was actually quite something. Ben Vereen was on the show. Joel Grey was on the show. Joel Grey actually did a drawing of me in character on a break between scenes one day, which I still have.
Do you frame it and everything?
It's not framed. I suppose it should be.
It would be great to see.
I mean, it was on a yellow legal pad, but I have it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Of course, we worked with Ann Stiller, who I adored, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously, you and I have a mutual friend in her daughter. So.
Amy.
Yeah. I should say Ann Mira. I should not say Ann Stiller. I should say Ann Mira.
I know, it took a little second. I went, oh yeah.
But there were so many, I mean, and B.D. Wong, for Christ's sake. And, you know, and people said to me, well, how did you really get along with people, you know, between stuff, if you're always hating each other and everybody was always fighting? And I said, you know, that was the prison drama. The fact is, J.K. Simmons, who was the head of the Aryans, and I knew each other from when he was doing Guys and Dolls on Broadway. So it's a little hard, after hours to take home the evil.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God, I'm just listening to, I have to say, right after we finish this interview, I'm going onto Amazon Prime and getting the box set of Oz. And
Oh,
then
please do.
and then when we get out of quarantine, I want you to sign it. I love this.
Oh, come on. I was like a glorified background actor, I,
There are no small parts.
well, there are no small Stevens, so there you go. I mean, people would say to me, what's your function on the show? And I'm like, to block the reflection of the crane in the plexiglass.
God, that's funny.
I
Well,
mean, it's true though. There were times they would place us so that you couldn't see the baby boom in the reflection of the plexiglass.
my God, that's funny. Well, just the way you speak, I mean, it shows what an amazing writer you are. And you have now. I know you had a writing workshop that you put together. Are you
Still
still
do.
doing that?
Oh yes, we still do it every week. We meet actually via Zoom. Um, there's a Monday night, a Tuesday night, and a Thursday night, and each week we read one of the writer's work, and we do it as a table read. There are actors and writers in the group, so that we get a really decent read from it, and then we give each other notes, and the writer goes off on their own and cries in their coffee and fixes what they need to fix.
Right. Right.
Or not. It's all personal preference.
Right. Well, you were also the writer, for the LA Emmys?
Yeah, I did that for 5 years.
Now, what is it about writing that you love?
Making something up where there was nothing before. It's the same thing I like about acting.
Uh,
To quote Sunday in the Park with George, look, I made a hat where there never was a hat.
I love that musical. What a good quote.
Yeah, well, and it's also good. It's helped me in writing the stuff that I write personally as fiction, because writing an awards show, and particularly one that I had access to the talent who I was writing for, I learned very quickly how to write in other people's voices. So, that's an invaluable tool. Anybody that has to write for a TV show or for a movie or anything like that, you have to write in a voice that's not yours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the overall picture is your voice.
Yeah.
But each of the characters has to have their own voice. And if you're doing an established show, if you had been a writer on Will and Grace, you have to write in the voice of the showrunner, of the executive producers.
Right.
For those characters.
Right.
So it becomes a multi-layered thing. And writing an award show really helped me with that.
I think that's why a lot of times at Performing Arts Studio West, I tell everybody when they start their monthly scenes or their monthly songs to write a page or even a paragraph, but I like a full page, if not more, of who are you as this character.
It's so important. I mean, to know the backstory of a character going into it as an actor is key, because then you know how they're going to respond in a scene. Obviously, if it's a full-length work and you get to read the whole work, so much the better. But, even, for example, when I auditioned for the Netflix series Hollywood for Ryan Murphy,
right,
I was given sides, not the scene. And as it happens, I was the first one in the room for the role that I booked. But the casting director very wisely asked me, do you have any questions? And I did. And I said, listen, it says I'm referring to her as Mrs. Cooper, but it says the character's name is something else entirely. Is this a play within a play?
Love that.
And she said, well, yes, as a matter of fact, it is. You're playing an actor playing this character opposite this woman who's playing Mrs. Cooper.
Oh, great.
So this is where improv comes in handy. Instant backstory fills your head, and you go in and you do it. It turns out that the actress who was playing the character playing Mrs. Cooper was Mira Sorvino. And let me tell you, Mira Sorvino in improv, oh, she's spectacular.
Oh, how wonderful to work with her.
Yes, yes, it was. It was a delightful experience. Well, that whole set, the whole crew, everybody from my director on down was delightful.
Well, that's the #1 hit show right now. Everybody's like watching it in quarantine.
Well, I hope they keep watching it. Go back and watch it a second time.
And a third time.
At least. Maybe there'll be residuals.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be nice?
I don't know how it works on Netflix, so I couldn't tell you.
Talking about producing and writing, you created and executive produced the wonderful web series Life Interrupted with a star-studded cast.
Yes, I did. Life Interrupted was quite an experience.
Yeah.
I ended up writing it, producing it, directing it. It was a little more than I had bargained for,
Yeah.
but it was an amazing experience. It really was. And what a cast. I couldn't ask for better.
Oh my God. Mason Reese, Allison Arndrim, who we had here a couple weeks ago, Dawn Wells, Aaron Murphy, Michael Learned.
Yeah. And Brandon Cruz and Robbie Rist. And yeah, it was quite a collection of friends, to put it bluntly. That if we had not all been friends, I don't think it would have worked.
Right. Why?
Well, professional is professional is professional. And as you've heard me say in workshop, and I will say it here, the three things you always need to be are prepared, prompt, and professional. And these people are all professionals.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we were friends gave us a little bit of latitude in that we were all focused on getting out what needed to get out and to do what needed to be done. But we were on an insanely tight schedule. I mean, I had 2 days that were 15 pages.
Oh my God.
Because we were going to lose the location if we didn't finish in time. And damn if we didn't do it. And we were out on at exactly the right minute of the right hour, both days.
Yeah.
And it was because, you know, friends had each other's back. Nobody pulled any diva trips.
Yeah.
Everybody just did what they needed to do. And so it became a lot of fun. And if anybody wants to watch Life Interrupted, they can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's the full half-hour version is available to watch, as well as, gosh, all the promos we did for it and everything else. So that's there. But yeah, it was a wonderful experience. And even how that came along, Mason and I met full circle working on the TV Land Awards.
Mm.
He was there as a child actor who had been a child actor as a commercial spokesperson. He was best known for Underwood Deviled Ham in the 70s.
Yeah.
And he and Rodney Allen Rippey, who was best known for Jack in the Box, we made them do an interview together as though they were having a Biggie and Tupac East Coast, West Coast feud.
Right.
Which became very funny. And Mason and I stayed in touch over the years, and I guess it was 10, 11 years later, I got a call from him one day and he said, I'd really like to get back in front of the cameras, something scripted, but I don't know what I should do. What should I do? And my answer was, I don't know. I haven't written it yet.
Oh, I love that answer. You have that gift of making things happen.
I suppose I do. You know, thanks, Barbara Eden.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah. And I used to play that in the piano bars too, but we do it with the lyrics.
Oh, and what a voice you have.
Well, thank you. There's one in there.
I am what I am.
Starts much lower than that, but thank you.
Well, you did that show. You were the lead in that show.
Yeah, I've done La Cage a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As Alban, and would happily do it again before I'm 107.
Well, and I would love to see it live and on stage.
So would I.
Mm-hmm.
So would I.
What made you become a member of the diversity committee? And what
at the TV Academy?
At the TV Academy.
Well, someone I know was one of the governors at the Academy, and this was at a time when it was just before Oscars So White really exploded.
Mm.
Everybody was feeling there was a lack of diversity in representation in film and television.
Yeah.
And I was approached because they knew that I had done a lot of work over at the LGBT Center for LifeWorks, the youth program.
Yeah.
And was actually involved with Outset, which is the LGBTQAI LMNOP student film project.
Yeah.
I was there for the founding of that. And I was asked if I would like to be a part of this. And I said, certainly. And I ended up producing several very large events for them. I did The Business of Being LGBT with, that one was with Alec Mapa, Cherry Jewel, and Chaz Bono.
Yeah, I love that one.
And I did one LGBT Above and Below the Line in Prime Time, hosted by Bruce Valanche with Billy Crystal as our premier guest. But that was a panel of thousands because I actually said, I want at least one of everything on that stage. And it wasn't that hard to find. There, you know, we had an actor model who was deaf.
Right.
We had people of color. We had people who were L, G, B, T, and Q. I don't know if they were I didn't ask.
Yeah.
None of my business. It's none of my business what anybody is, but if you're going to put it out there and I'm doing an event that needs you to represent, I'll call you. And Bruce hosted for me, another one I've known a million years. And that was an amazing event. I also did one called LGBT Youth in Television. It was portrayals of young people in television that Kathy Griffin hosted for me. So I did a lot of large events for her for that.
I love, I hear man of many hats, but you seriously, you open your closet, the hats just fall out of the closet. You have so much.
Yes, they do. Well, I mean, for the most part, I don't believe there's anything I really can't do, except perhaps give birth.
But damn it, you'll try.
No, I don't think I want that. But you know, if you set your mind to it, most things are possible.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, something I love about the Meet the Biz workshops is that everybody comes with an open mind saying, I want to try this, or I want to do this. How do I do this?
Mm-hmm.
And, the first step is seeing what you do know and then admitting what you don't know and being open to taking that in.
Mm. I mean, you have to be. You have to be, because if you block it, how can you grow?
Well, exactly. You block the roots to a tree, the tree's not going to grow.
Yeah.
But you have to have the roots before you have the tree. So there you go. That's what the training's about.
One more question.
Yes.
What is your biggest love in life?
Well, at the moment, my cat Maggie,
Maggie.
that she's gotten me through the shelter at home and all of that.
Yeah.
Having a creature to care for who cares for me.
Yep. Connection.
Yeah, it's about that. And she understands me and I understand her. Obviously I knew she wanted to go out on the balcony.
Like Steve.
Yeah, she actually has a specific meow sound that she makes when she's calling me. So I assume it's her name for me.
Can you do that sound for
No,
us?
I will not do that.
Okay. Oh, by the way, do you like Steve or Steven?
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Just don't call me late for dinner.